Hello everyone, I'm MD Atif San and today we are going to discuss on the topic Introduction to Mathematics. Let us first start with the etymology and definition of mathematics. The word mathematics originates from the Greek word mathema. The meaning of mathema word is science, knowledge or learning. This word is often used by students and their schools for arithmetic, geometry and algebra. Commonly, however, there is no any accepted definition of math. Different people have defined maths in their ways. Aristotle, for example, defined mathematics as the science of quantity. This definition given by Aristotle prevailed until the 18th century. The study of numbers, shapes, and patterns is called math. In other words, we can define the term maths as the field of study that uses numbers and symbols for measurement, properties, relationships of quantities, and sets. Now, according to German philosophers Carl Friedrich Gauss, mathematics is the queen of sciences. Modern philosophers do not consider, however, mathematics as science because science is based on empirical observations and seek to understand some aspects of phenomena. While math defines the relationship between quantities and objects and seeks to use logic to understand. The mathematics do not relate to any phenomena. Now we have different types of definitions of mathematics. This can be divided into logistic definitions, institutionist definitions, and formalist definitions. Now all of them have severe problems and none have widespread acceptance and no reconciliation seems possible even today. The early definition of mathematics in terms of logic was Benjamin Peirce, the science that draws necessary conclusions. A logistic definition of mathematics is Russell's all mathematics is symbolic logic. Institutionist definitions developing from the philosophy of mathematicians L.J. Brouwer identify mathematics with certain mental phenomena. An example of institutionist definition is mathematics is the mental activity which consists in carrying our constructs one after the other. A peculiarity of institutionism is that it rejects some mathematical ideas considered valid according to other definitions. In particular, while other philosophies of mathematics allow objects that can be proven to exist even though they cannot be constructed, institutionism allow only mathematical objects that one can construct. Formalist definitions identify mathematics with its symbols and rules for operating on them. Haskell Curry defined mathematics simply as the science of formal systems. A formal system. A formal system is a set of symbols or tokens and some rules telling us how the token may be combined into formulas. In formal systems, the word axiom has a special meaning, different from ordinary meaning of the word axiom, that is the self-evident truth. In formal system, an axiom is a combination of tokens that is included in a given formal system without needing to be derived using the rules of the system. Now, the study of math includes various subjects like numbers. The study of numbers involves how we count the things. Structure. The study of structures involves how things can be organized. One of the subfield of structure is algebra. Place. The study of place involves the arrangement for things. The subfield of place is geometry. Change. The study of change involves how things become different. The subfield of change is called analysis. Now let us look at the map of mathematics. Here we have fundamental foundations, the fundamental rules, mathematical logic, set theory, category theory, measure, order theory, the parts of pure mathematics. Here comes the algebra, graph theory, and all the number systems. And here we have the applied mathematics, cryptography, computer science, machine learning, and all. However, rather than you can see that there is a continuous flow between pure mathematics and applied mathematics. Rather than studying pure mathematics versus applied mathematics, we have to study it as pure mathematics and applied mathematics. They go hand to hand together. Now, let us start with pure mathematics. Pure mathematics is the study of basic concepts and structures that underlie mathematics. Its purpose is to search for a deeper understanding and an expanded knowledge of mathematics itself. Traditionally, pure mathematics has been classified into three general fields: analysis, which deals with the continuous aspects of mathematics; algebra, which deals with discrete aspects; geometry, subjects like number theory and topology are covered. Mathematics is both an art and science, and pure mathematics lies at its heart. Pure mathematics explores the boundary of mathematics and pure reason. It has been described as that part of mathematical activity that is done without explicit or immediate consideration of direct application. However, what is pure today that might become applied in future times, or what was pure in the past that might have become applied mathematics in today's time. So they go together, I guess. Now, pure mathematics is separate from the physical world. It solves problems, find facts, and answer questions that don't depend on world around them, but the rules of mathematics itself. Here in the figure also you can see that we are in a world of mathematics, only mathematics, the pure mathematics. Now let us look at some of the subfields of pure mathematics. The first is algebra. In algebra, abstract methods are used to study what is known as discrete structures. Algebra has a long history of important applications throughout mathematics, science, and engineering, and has also been studied for its intrinsic beauty. With the advent of computers, discrete structures have taken on a new importance, and algebraic methods have become increasingly useful. As I have already said, algebra is now used in applied mathematics as well. Algebraic laws are satisfied by various objects such as numbers, polynomials, matrices, and permutations in a new and abstract way, thereby simplifying our understandings of the connection between these laws and allowing us to apply the laws to quite interesting new entities. Algebra is an immense area of mathematics. Some of the areas of interest in today's time are algebraic geometry, field theory, group theory, Lie theory, linear algebra, and ring theory. Famous people who have made contributions to algebra include Gauss, Descartes, Noether, von Neumann, and others. Now, analysis. Roughly speaking, analysis deals with approximation of certain mathematical objects like numbers or functions by other objects which are easiest to understand or handle. For instance, if you want to find out the first few decimals of pi, then you will most likely want to write pi as the limit of sequence of numbers that you already know how to calculate. It means it deals with continuous aspects of mathematics. For example, going the other way around, the sequence of factorial and factorial. This can be, the approximation of it can be given by the classical formula of Stirling. N factorial is similar to n by e whole to the power n square root of 2 pi n. Here you can see it. Now the analysis we study today does not look at all as it did 3 or 100 years ago. As was the case with other vital branches of mathematics, analysis has continuously advanced and today has important application throughout science, engineering, and economics. For example, the finance industry has become significant employer of mathematicians because of the use of analysis. At present, analysis has accumulated such an enormous body of result that a brief review of the field is literally impossible. Major areas of interest to analysis in pure mathematics department include real analysis, Fourier analysis and wavelets, functional analysis, operator theory and algebra, harmonic analysis, probability theory and measure theory and differential equations. Famous people who have made important discoveries in analysis include Newton, Cauchy, Fourier, Hilbert, and Helmholtz. Geometry. Now, geometry is an original field of mathematics, and it is indeed the oldest of all sciences, going back at least to the time of Euclid, Pythagoras, and other natural philosophers of ancient Greece. Initially, geometry was studied to understand the physical world we live in, and tradition continues to this day even. Witness, for example, the spectacular success of Einstein's theory of general relativity is a pure geometric theory that describes gravitation in terms of the curvature of four-dimensional space, that is space-time. However, geometry transcends far beyond physical applications and is not unreasonable to say that geometric ideas and methods have always permeated every field of mathematics. Today, there are different subfields of geometry that are actively studied. Some of them include Riemannian geometry, algebraic geometry, symplectic geometry, complex geometry, etc. This list is far from exhaustive. Geometry is more active and exciting than ever, even after 3000 years, and there is no sign of letting it up. Now, topology. The topology studies properties of space that are invariant under continuous deformation. It is sometimes called rubber sheet geometry because the object that can be stretched and contracted like a rubber but can be broken, but cannot be broken. For example, in the figure you can say the square, it can be stretched to form a circle. So square and circle are topologically equivalent, but this cannot be stretched to form circle or square. So it is not topologically equivalent to these two figures. Here are some example of typical questions in topology. How many holes are there in an object? How can you define the holes in torus or sphere? What is the boundary of an object? Is space connected? Does every continuous function form a space to itself to have a fixed point? Topology is a relatively new branch of mathematics. Most of the research in topology has been done since 1900. The following are some of the subfields of topology: the general topology or point set topology, combinational topology, algebraic topology, differential topology. The topology is used in many branches of mathematics such as differential equations, dynamic systems, knot theory, and Riemann surfaces in complex analysis. It is also used in string theory in physics and for describing the space-time structure of universe. Now let us start with applied mathematics. Applied mathematics is the application of mathematical methods by different fields such as physics, engineering, medicine, biology, business, computer science, and industry. Thus, applied mathematics is a combination of mathematical sciences and specialized knowledge. The term applied mathematics also describes the professional specialty in which mathematicians work on practical problems by formulating and studying mathematical models. Today, the term applied mathematics is used in a broader sense. It includes the classical areas noted above, as well as other areas that have become increasingly important in applications. Even fields such as number theory that are part of pure mathematics are now important in applications such as cryptography, though they are not generally considered to be part of field of applied mathematics. Earlier, I have also said that algebra is now becoming a part of applied mathematics. Sometimes the term applicable mathematics is used to distinguish between the traditional applied mathematics that developed alongside physics and the many areas of mathematics that are applicable to real world problems today. The success of modern mathematical models, methods, and software has led to the emergence of computational mathematics, computational science, and computational engineering, which use high performance computing for the simulation of phenomena and the solution of problems in the science and engineering. These are often considered indisciplinary. Now, some of the associated mathematical sciences are engineering mathematics, computer science, operational research and management science, statistics, mathematical modeling, and many other fields. Actually, this list is inexhaustive. Now, let us see this diagram how different fields are related to mathematics and how applied mathematics and pure mathematics are itself related to each other. You can see computer science, some part of computer science lies outside pure mathematics and applied mathematics. Some lies in pure mathematics, some in applied, and some in the common region. Similarly, statistics we have and optimization, etc. Now, engineering mathematics, let us see, it is a subfield of applied mathematics concerning mathematical methods and techniques that are typically used in engineering and industry, along with fields like engineering physics and engineering geology, both of which may belong to in the wider category engineering science. Engineering mathematics is an interdisciplinary subject motivated by engineers' needs both for practical, theoretical, and other consideration, outwit their specialization, and to deal with constraints to be effective in their work. Historically, engineering mathematics consisted mostly of applied analysis, most notably differential equations, real and complex analysis, including vector and tensor analysis, approximation theory, broadly constructed to include asymptotic, variational, and permutative methods, representation, numerical analysis, Fourier analysis, potential theory, as well as linear algebra and applied probability. Outside of analysis, these areas of mathematics were intimately tied to the development of Newtonian physics and the mathematical physics of that period. The success of modern numerical computer methods and software has led to the emergence of computational mathematics, computational science, and computational engineering. The combining computational science and computational engineering, we get something called CSE, computer science and engineering, which occasionally use high performance computing for the simulation of phenomena and the solution of problems in the science and engineering. These are often considered interdisciplinary fields but are also interests of engineering mathematics. Specialized branches including engineering optimization and engineering statistics. Now let us see statistics. Statistics is the science of collecting, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting data. Governmental needs for census data as well as information about variety of economic activities provided much of early impetus for the field of statistics. Currently, the need to turn the large number of amounts of data available in many applied fields into useful information has stimulated both theoretical and practical developments in statistics. Data are the facts and figures that are collected, analyzed, and summarized for presentation and interpretation. Data may be classified as either qualitative or quantitative. The quantitative data measures either how much or how many of something, and the qualitative data provides labels or names for categories of like items. Sample survey methods are used to collect data from observational studies, and experimental design methods are used to collect data from experimental studies. The area of descriptive statistics is concerned primarily with the method of presenting and interpreting data using graphs, tables, and numerical summaries. Whenever statistics use data from a sample that is a subset of population, To make statements about a population, they are performing statistical inference. Estimation and hypothesis thinking are procedures to make statistical inference. Fields such as healthcare, biology, chemistry, physics, education, engineering, business, and economics makes extensive use of statistical inference. Methods of probability which were developed initially for analyzing the gambling games. Probability now plays a key role in statistical inference. It is used to provide measures of the quality and precision of inferences. Thus, statistical inference is the key to statistics. Now, let us just see briefly one thing, that is descriptive statistics. The descriptive statistics are tabular and graphical and numerical summaries of data. The purpose of descriptive statistics is to facilitate the presentation and interpretation of data. Most of the statistical presentation appearing in newspapers and magazines are descriptive in nature. Univariate methods of descriptive statistics use data to enhance the understanding of a single variable. Multivariable methods focus on using statistics to understand the relationship among two or more variables. Now let us look at the other field of applied mathematics, which is operational research. Operational research is the analytical method of problem solving and decision making that is useful in management of organization. In operational research, problems are broken down into basic components and then solved in defined steps by mathematical analysis. First, in the real system, we have to identify a problem. Now, then we set the model's scope, then constructing the mathematical model. About mathematical model, we will study a little bit more detail in few slides after. Then we have to derive a solution methodology. Then we have to test the model with real data. This works as a cycle. In any step, if we want to go to the previous, if at any step we are not able to conclude things, we can go to previous step to analyze things and do corrections. After testing the model with real data, we have to stabilize controls over the solution, then implement the solution, and then again work in the real system. Disciplines that are similar to or overlap with operational research include statistical analysis, management science, game theory, optimization theory, artificial intelligence, and network analysis. All of these techniques have the goal of solving complex problems and improving quantitative decisions. The concepts of operational research arose during World War II by military planners. After the war, the techniques used in their operations research were applied to addressing problems in business, the government, and society. Now, what are some of the characteristics of operational research? The first is optimization. The purpose of operational research is to achieve the best performance under the given circumstances. Optimization also involves comparing and narrowing down potential options. Then we have simulation. This involves building models or replications in order to try out and test solutions before applying them. We have probability and statistics. This includes using mathematical algorithms and data to uncover helpful insights and risk, make reliable predictions, and test possible solutions. Now, importance of operational research. The field of operations research provides a more powerful approach to the decision making than ordinary software and data analysis tools. Employing operations research professionals can help companies achieve more complete data sets, consider all available options, predict all possible outcomes, and estimate risks. Additionally, operational research can be tailored to specific business processes or to use cases to determine which techniques are the most appropriate to solve a particular problem. How can we work out to improve things? Because it works in a cycle, we have to look at each node what should be done to improve the next node, next part. Now, operational research can be applied to a variety of use cases, including scheduling and time management, urban agriculture planning, enterprise resource planning and supply chain management, inventory management, network optimization and engineering, packet routing optimization, risk management, and other things. Now we are going to study mathematical modeling, about which I have discussed in the operational research also. What is mathematical modeling? It is the art of translating problems from an application area into practicable mathematical formulations, and whose theoretical and numerical analysis provide insight, answers, and guidance useful for originating application. Mathematical modeling, it is indispensable in many applications, is successful in many further applications, gives precision and direction for problem solution, enables a thorough understanding of the system models, prepares the way for better design or control over a system, allows the efficient use of modern computing capabilities. Now it has applications in a variety of fields like anthropology, archaeology, architecture, artificial intelligence, arts, astronomy, chemistry, computer science, economics, and many other fields. Now let us look at the modeling diagram and try to understand how actually mathematical modeling is done. Here we have 6 nodes: the report, problem statement, theory, numerical models, programs, and mathematical model. And all the nodes are connected by edges. You can see here there are 10 edges: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. Okay? And now the nodes of the following diagram represent information to be collected, sorted, evaluated, and organized. The edges of the diagram represent activities of two-way communication. That is, for example, from problem statement you can go to mathematical model, and from mathematical models to problem statement you can go if you have any problem in the next node. That is flow between nodes and corresponding sources of information. Now, how to use these modeling diagrams? As we have, it breaks the modeling task into 16 different processes, 6 nodes and 10 edges. You can see in the figure here, 6 nodes and 10 edges. Each of the 6 nodes and each 10 edges deserve repeated attention, usually at every stage of the modeling process. That is, at every stage you have to look at this mode and the previous mode and all the modes which are connected together via edges. The modeling is complete only when traffic along all the edges become insignificant. That is, at all the edges you are free to move from one node to another. Generally, working on an edge involves both participating nodes. If stuck along one edge, move to another one and see what can be done to sort things out. Frequently, the problem changes during modeling in the light of understanding gained by the modeling process. At the end, even a vague or contradictory initial problem description should have developed into a reasonable, well-defined descriptions with an associated, precisely defined, though perhaps inaccurate mathematical model. Now let us try to conclude things out. However, it is very difficult to conclude what is mathematics even and how pure and applied mathematics are different. We have studied about pure mathematics, algebra, analysis, geometry, and how they, and we have also studied that how they, now they are, some part of it is becoming applied mathematics. In applied mathematics we studied mathematical modeling, operational research, statistics, engineering mathematics, and other such fields. So the easiest way to think of it is that pure mathematics is math work done for its own sake, while applied mathematics is math with a practical use. Pure mathematics means going deep into math only for the sake of studying and advancing mathematics, and only mathematics. Pure mathematics is studied not for the sake of applying much in practical areas. However, applied mathematics is studied in order to know how to advance other fields using mathematics. For example, the branch of mathematics known as number theory was one considered one of the most useless, but now plays a vital role in computer encryption system, that is in applied mathematics field. However, still there is no any perfect way to decide what is pure mathematics and what is applied mathematics. Even mathematicians can agree that it is difficult. Well, I think that is enough for today. These are my references, you can see. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you.